weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. Sing this out. My God will never fail. Sing that out, let him know you believe it. My God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. This next part talks about there's no power like the mighty name of Jesus. Sing this out. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. And I'm not backing down from any giant, 'cause I know how how the story ends. Sing it. I know how the story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to the Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to the Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to the Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to the Lord. Every battle that you face already belongs to Jesus. You gotta believe that. He's already defeated everything the enemy's throwing at you. Sing this part. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Sing it out. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Give Jesus another shout this morning. He's turning everything for our good. Turn it for good. You guys have a seat and watch this next video.
Good morning and welcome to Church with You. My name is Cheyenne Bradley and I have the privilege of serving here on the U Crew. I want to make sure that all of you know that we are shouting from the top of our lungs, Happy Father's Day. Today is a day where we get to celebrate you, Dad, and we're so excited to get to be a part of your special day. So we're grateful that you're here, and maybe, just maybe, this is your first time you've ever either tuned in to us online or joined us here in person. And if that's the case, we are so grateful that you've decided to spend your Sunday with us. We want to ask something from you, but I promise it's not going to get weird. All we want you to do is text. That's right. We just want you to text the word guest to the number below. Text the word guest to the number below, and that's it. All we're going send you a note thanking you for coming and giving you some information for you to decide if you want to get further involved in church with you or not. That's all we're going to do with that. We promise. It's our hassle-free guarantee. So text the word guest to the number below and let us know that you are here. Father's Day is one of my favorite days at church with you. We love some dads. And as a matter of fact, as a church, one of the things we try to do is make our church a guy church. A church that guys feel comfortable coming into. We don't want it to be all girly and frilly and all of that stuff because we want you to feel comfortable, Dad. And so what I love about Father's Day is we get to go all out with that. And this week alone, I've seen people talk about how Father's Days of the past are the reason they're still coming to church with you. And I just want to thank you. If you already give at church with you, you did that. You put the mechanical bull in the lobby, and then people came to know Christ because of it. That's what your giving does here at church with you. It allows us to tear down barriers for people, and life change happens because of it. So if you do give, then we want to thank you for your giving. And if you have thought about giving or are interested in trying to figure out what that looks like, I want to encourage you guys to go to our website and learn more about how to give and why we give and the reasons that we give. And make sure that it's a heart thing for you and that you allow God to talk to you about what it is that He's asking from you. And I just want to thank you again for being a generous church and allowing life change to happen, especially on a day as cool as Father's Day. Hey guys, if you're watching with us online, we want to know what you're doing on Father's Day. Let us know how you're celebrating Dad today. Tell us about a prank you're going to pull on him, or maybe what you're making for lunch, but let us know what you're doing for Father's Day in the comment section below. Right now, that's right, tell us what you're doing. Now, if you're here in person, we want to thank you for coming back to church. We know that things are really different right now as we're trying to follow all of the CDC guidelines. But we want to ask one more thing of you. Just stay seated. Stay seated after church. Make sure that when we get ready to dismiss, you just stay in your seat. That's right. What are we going to do? Stay in our seat. That's right. So what we're going to do is we're going to stay in our seat, and someone's going to come to you, and they're going to personally escort you out of the building. I know, it's super fancy. It's like a VIP service, and that's what we want to provide for you. Actually, it's more like 5th grade lunch dismissal, but it's the same thing. You guys stay seated so we don't have a big crowd at the door, and we're following all the rules. We don't get in trouble, and we still get to have church. So grateful for your participation. Now you guys sit back, relax, and enjoy the next part of summer at church with you.
What's happening? Y'all doing good? Hey, welcome to Church with You, and happy Father's Day to all the dads in the house. Come on, man. I just want to honor you guys because here's the thing. Like, you making it a priority to get up, to get your family ready, to come to church, to get them ready to watch church online, wherever you're at. If you're making it a priority to get your family in church, can I tell you, you guys are the heroes. You are the heroes. So I just want to honor you for a minute. So come on, not just dads in Enterprise, dads in Ozark too, and church online. Come on, everybody. Let's show some love to some dads. We love you. We love you. Love you, love you. Thank you so much for being here. And I just want to give a huge shout out to my dad. I don't know if he's in this service or not, but my dad is incredible. Like, you talk about loving his family and leading his family well, man, he is a rock star at it. If you would ask him, did he get everything right, he would probably tell you no. But here's what I want you to know from a kid's perspective toward my dad is he got a lot more right than he thought he did. Come on, I just need you to know that if you're a dad in here this morning, you get a lot more right than what you think you do. Come on, we are hardest on ourselves, are we not? You get a lot more right than what you think you do. So the way that he loves Jesus has set up a continuation of a legacy of Jesus followers. And I'm grateful for that because my kids get to live in a house where they know how much Jesus loves them and that they know how to love Jesus well. And it started with him and how he continued that legacy. So right now, wherever you're at, Enterprise Ozark Church Online, go and give a shout out to my dad. Let's honor him real quick. He loves that. He loves that. He loves being the spotlight and the center of attention. If those of you who know him, that is as far away from the truth as possible. So that's probably why he's not in here. Somebody told him, oh, that was good of your son. He shouted you out. And he's like, I ain't going to church. I'm done. I'm done. But hey, we've been in this series that we're calling Summer at Church with You, where we set out to talk about topics that would be helpful, but would also be challenging. And we set out to really talk about one thing in particular, and that was our enemy. And I know that's weird. You're wrapping a whole series around talking about the devil and who he is and all that, but how many of you know, like you can't fight somebody that you don't know their game plan? That's why Nick Saban wins all the time, baby. Come on, he wins all the time because he watches so much game film. Come on, we don't even know if we're going to have football, everybody. Let's just talk about it right now. So if you're not a Bama fan, then you can cheer against that statement. If you are a Bama fan, then you can cheer for that statement. Are you following me? That's why Nick Saban wins all the time. Okay, Enterprise didn't get it. I hope Church Online and Ozark, I hope y'all are way better at that than these guys are. Or is there no Bama fans in here? No Bama fans in here? That's cool. All right, whatever. Here's the thing. You got to know what your enemy is going to do so that you'll know how to counteract what he's doing. And that's why we're doing this whole series based around the tactics of our enemy, because there is a legit enemy that's out to destroy your life. Like Jesus said, he came on purpose, right? That Satan came on purpose, and it was to steal, kill, and destroy everything about your life. So if we don't know that, if we don't know his tactics, then how are we going to battle it? How are we going to defeat what he's doing, right? And I couldn't think of a better thing to talk about on Father's Day than us figuring out that our enemy is our accuser. He is our accuser. Because the devil's really good at coming into your life and picking something and then telling you that you are that one thing. Are you following me? He's really good at coming into your life and going, oh, you think you're a really good example for your kids? Like your kids just saw you get mad at your wife, at their mom, because she forgot to tell you to take a left. A little nervous laughter. Did that happen in your van this morning? Like I'm just wondering. Like did y'all experience that same exact thing? Like that isn't that the deal? Isn't that exactly what goes on? Right? Because you do get mad, right? Because it's frustrating. It's frustrating. You're supposed to be navigating. If you just turn Siri up, she could tell me where to go. But you want to navigate, so you navigate. But what you forgot is that she was fixing peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for your kids so that they'd stop whining, and she forgot to tell you to turn left, and you're going bang on the steering wheel, and you're getting mad at her, and the enemy is just putting in your mind that you are a failure. You are angry. You got a problem. And your kids would be better off if you would just leave, because if you continue to stay in their life and that you have these anger issues, then that's going to go over to your boys, and then your boys are going to grow up and they're going to get married, and then they're going to abuse their wives, and that's going to come from you. You see what just happened there? It took a little incident and it turned it into something massive, because he took what you did and he made it what you are. See, that's what your accuser does, is he takes what you do and he makes it who you are. And can I tell you, you are not what you do. And you are not what you don't do. You are who Jesus said that you are, and you are not anything else. Come on, you can defeat what he's throwing your way. But I just have a feeling that we forgot that there's this battle going on. Because in our culture, we're really good at pitting each other against each other. The world is really good at pitting you against me and me against you, and then we fight all day long. If you do not understand that or realize that that's the culture that we're in, then you've been sleeping for the past ever. You've been sleeping on it. But that's what happens. But Ephesians tells us this. It says this, for we do not fight against flesh and blood. And my battle ain't against you. Your battle's not against me. Right, but then it goes on and says, but against the rulers and authorities of the what? Of the unseen world. There's an unseen battle that's going on that I think you and I get wrapped up in our life and we forget that that unseen battle is happening. So we just fight each other. So how about we figure out that there is an unseen battle happening and this enemy is coming in to take you out and to steal, kill, and destroy everything about your life. That's what he does. And if we can understand that, then we can combat that. Are you following me so far? You tracking? Right, so how do you do that? How do you do that? Here's what I want you to understand is sometimes, if you don't get anything else out of today, this is what I want you to get. Sometimes we're fighting against what we're actually called to fight for. And I want you to walk with me because we're going to take a lot of lefts because she told me that we were taking a left. And we're going to take a lot of lefts, but we're going to circle back around, and this is going to tie a pretty bow. You ready? Sometimes I think we're fighting against what we should be fighting for. Like you and I are really good at fighting each other, but Jesus says they will know that you are my disciples by the way you love one another. And then we're fighting against what Jesus told us to fight for. So he fought for you. He fought for me. He paid our debt. He went and sacrificed his own life so that we wouldn't have to sacrifice our lives. So he paid a debt for you. He paid a debt for me. He fought for us, and then we're fighting against what we're called to fight for. That's our culture. But then what dads do, come on, dads do this a lot, because we hear the voice of the accuser almost every single day of our life. I just need you to know that. I know that everybody in here has heard the voice of the accuser, but as a dad, you hear it every single day of your life. And here's what he does, is he says, you got issues, and if you don't leave your family, then your family's going to got issues. Come on, this happens all the time. Hurt spawns more hurt, and then it spawns more hurt, and then all the while people are getting crushed by the words of the accuser. He says, if you don't want your family, if you don't want your kids to be addicted to the same thing you were addicted to, then you might as well leave them, because if you stay around, they're going to get influenced in a bad way, and then they're going to take the same route you take. And then what you do is you fight against what you should be fighting for. You fight against yourself thinking that you are the problem. You ain't the problem, bro. Do you get stuff messed up? Yes. Do you jack stuff up? Yes. Are you going to do stuff that you shouldn't do? Yes. But you are not the problem, because you have a real enemy who's trying to take you out. So we start fighting against ourselves, and we go, you know what, that's probably right. I'm going to leave, and then all of a sudden you leave, and then 10 years later you look back at your kids, and they're tracking the same path that you tracked. And you go, man, what happened? It's because you didn't defeat the words of the accuser. We got to defeat the words of the accuser, because you should be fighting for that family. And for that family means sometimes you sitting down and go, hey, listen, you got a jacked up dad. You got a messed up husband. You got a messed up mom. You got a jacked up mom. We're going to screw you up. We're going to screw you up. Welcome to the Bradley house. But you know what? We're going to stay right here beside you while we screw you up, and then we'll stay right here beside you while Jesus fixes it all. And we're fighting for instead of fighting against. Are you following me? So how do we battle? How do we battle? You do understand this is a battle. Right? Here's my prayer for you. Isaiah 54:17, it says this. It says, no weapon turned against you will succeed, and that you will silence every voice raised up to accuse you. That's my prayer for you, is that you would figure out how to silence every voice raised up to accuse you. Dad, mom, husband, wife, teenager, student, whatever. Like that, you would silence every voice raised up to accuse you. But how do you do it? How do you do that? So I figured the best way that I could tell you this is an illustration. So I brought a cool little bow and arrow with me. How many of you know, as a dad, you have some of these at your house, right? Why y'all ducking? Why y'all ducking? Look at this right here, Ephesians chapter 6. It says, in addition to all this, take up your shield of faith, which you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. You want to know how to fight your enemy? Is you got to understand that he's actually fighting you. And every single day of your life, he's throwing these flaming arrows at you. Are you following me? You follow me so far? You're tracking? He's throwing flaming arrows at your health, flaming arrows at your finances, flaming arrows at your marriage, flaming arrows at your kids. Come on, he's throwing flaming darts at you. And then all of a sudden, my bad. I didn't mean to let that one go, but I did. I'm just kidding. I meant to let it go, and I was aiming for you, and I missed. So that's my fault. But that's what happens. So we got to understand that there are flaming arrows coming at you. And what I wanted to do for that illustration is I wanted to take a T-shirt and wanted to wrap it around it and soak it in kerosene and light it on fire, and then we'd have had an illustration. Been awesome. But somebody said our insurance didn't cover all that, so I didn't know where you stood with it, so we just decided not to do that. See, we got to realize that there's flaming arrows flying at your life all day, every day. All day, every day. So how do we overcome all of that? Look at Ephesians chapter 6 again. It says, in addition to this, take up your what? Shield of faith. Take up your shield of faith, which you can not just block, but you can extinguish all the flaming arrows of the evil one. You want to figure out how to fight against the flaming arrows of accusation coming at your life? Thank you, Captain America. Let's do this thing. What? That was pretty good. Give it up for my bride. She chunked that. That was awesome. As the Bible says, you're not defenseless. Like you have a defense. See, I think a lot of people are walking around without a shield, and they're getting beat down every single day of their life, and they're going, is this ever going to get any better? Is it ever going to get any better? Not until you actually do what Scripture tells you to do, and it says, take up your shield of faith. Take up your shield of faith. Now, what is faith? Because we're all confused about that too. All right, what is faith? Faith is this. Faith is a belief in Jesus that results in action. Faith is a belief in Jesus which results in action. Faith isn't just belief. Right? James says, without works, your faith is dead. Right? So it's not just belief. Faith is a belief in Jesus which results in action. Are you following me? So the enemy comes at you, right, and tells you, hey, listen, you're nothing but a failure. I don't even know why you still try. All you do is fail. Every decision that you make just leads your family further and further and further into the hole. What are you still doing there? They'd be better off without you. Are you seeing the flaming arrows coming at you? And the only way that you and I can defeat that is for us to go, nope, here's my shield of faith, my belief in Jesus. My belief in Jesus when he says, my grace is sufficient for you. Are you going to jack your life up? Yes. Welcome to grace. Welcome to grace. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in your weakness. There's too many dads who are going, no, I can take it, bro. I can take it. Just take it. I can take it. You were never meant to take it. You were meant to defend your family from the flaming arrows that are thrown at you from your enemy. Don't sit there and take it. Defend yourself. And defend it knowing that God is going to work through every weak area in your life. And if we cover up our weaknesses, then we overcome the power of Jesus that's going to be expressed through every area of our weakness. Are you following me? Come on, man, I'm preaching good and you are barely responded in Enterprise. It's you getting to a place in your life where you start to go, I'm not a failure. I'm not who you say I am. I am not what you said I did. I'm going to take up my shield of faith, and I'm going to go, I don't care how many times I failed before. I'm going to try it again because God promised me that I can do all things through Christ that's within me. His strength is made perfect in your weakness. So let's stop covering up our weaknesses, acting like they don't exist. Let's just get a shield of faith and go bring it on, bro. Like you want to fight, I got to fight. Come on, you tell your enemy when you and your spouse start to get in a little argument. And you are bickering back and forth against each other. You take up your shield of faith and you go, Satan, you don't belong here. You're trespassing in my house. You have no right in between me and my wife. You're going to get out of it now. Because what God has joined together, can't nobody separate it. Come on, you take up your shield of faith and you fight every arrow of accusation that's coming your way. Come on, guys, we're fighters. Like if somebody did something to your spouse or they did something to your kids and like it was like degrading and it wasn't good, how many of you, I'm ready to fight. Like I will throw down in the church if you do something to my kids that you shouldn't do. Like I'm not even playing. But so many of us live our spiritual lives without a shield. And we think, man, everything that's coming out of our lives, how are we ever going to get over it? You're going to get over it by taking up the shield of faith, not which you can deflect the arrows, but so that you can extinguish every arrow that's thrown your way by the accuser. It happens in our world too. It's not just in our family. It's in our world. Right? Instead of fighting against each other, let's start fighting for each other. Instead of fighting against each other, every cop is crooked. Every white man is a racist. Every black guy is a criminal. Instead of fighting against each other, how about we just go, you know what? No, I ain't having that here. I ain't having that here. Are some people jacked up? Yes, that's life. Should we work on some stuff? Yes, we got stuff to work on. Should we work on our issues? Yes, we should work on our issues. But I'm going to take up my shield of faith, and I'm going to remember that Jesus has told me to be eager to maintain the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. I'm going to be eager. I'm not going to sit back and let everybody destroy everybody that I love. I'm not letting the enemy come in and devour a church that we have built that's broken down walls from the beginning of its history to go, I don't care who you are, you can come in here, black, white, yellow, purple, addicted to something, messed up, jacked up, still high on what you took last night. It does not matter. I'm not going to let Satan come in and destroy a church that we built. I'm going to hold it up. I'm going to hold it up so that they can see a church that has the same heartbeat as Jesus. May they experience, this is what he says in John 17, may they experience such perfect unity in the world so that the world would know that God sent him. Come on, our unity isn't for us to just go, oh, kumbaya, everything's awesome, nobody's No. Tension's good. We should talk about stuff. We should talk about what's going on, how we're going to fix it. We should do all that. That's not what unity is. Unity doesn't make it to where you have a tense-less environment. Unity just makes it to where your tension isn't going to tear you apart. That your unity is going to come in and go, you know what, I'm not who my enemy tells me that I am. So come on, can we lift up, can we be a people who just lift up the shield of faith, a belief in Jesus which results in action? So now as a dad, when the accuser is filling your head telling you that you should leave your family right now because they're worse off if you stay, you go, no, bro. They're worse off if I left because that's where I came from. I came from a family who had a dad who walked out, and this is where I ended up. And I want my kids to end up in a better place than where I ended up. So I'm going to pick up my shield of faith. I'm going to fight this battle. And I don't care if you call me defeated. Come on, can you help somebody out? Come on, you're going to help your spouse out. You're going to help your kids out. You're going to help your friend out. Every time you pick up a shield of faith, you're going to help everybody that's around you. Everybody that's around you. And then when the accuser starts telling them, hey, you're defeated. You're nothing. You're never going to, you're nothing more than mediocre. And you can pick up a shield of faith and go, no. Because my God says I'm more than a conqueror. I'm not defeated, I'm victorious, not because I'm incredible, not because I know what I'm doing, not because I got everything under control, but because I have a God who loves me enough that he gave his life for me, he paid a price for me, and he walked out of the tomb defeating sin, death, hell, and the grave so that I wouldn't be defeated, so that I could live in victory. I am not a victim, I am a victor in the name of Jesus. Come on, this is how we defeat this stuff. And then your accuser starts coming in and go, oh, no, you're unworthy. How can you even expect to be loved by them? You're unworthy of that spouse. You're unworthy of your kids. You are an unworthy individual. You can pick it up and you can go, no, man, I was bought with the life of Jesus. And if I was bought with the life of Jesus, if God loved me enough to send his one and only son, then that means I'm pretty doggone worthy. I don't have to give in to what you say about me. I'm going to take up my shield of faith. And I'm going to believe that the perfect sacrifice was made for me. So that makes me worthy. And then he starts to attack your mind. Maybe you are the dad who walked out. Now you're back and you're trying to repair all this stuff. Or maybe you're the husband who did cheat. Or the wife who did get found out that you were having text messages, conversations. Maybe that did happen. But here's what your accuser does. He always throws shame and guilt toward your way. Oh, you did it again. There's no way you're getting out of that. There's no way he's forgiven you. There's no way she's forgiven you. You might as well give up right now. Don't even work on it anymore. Just give up right now. Come on, can I tell you, if that's where you are this morning, you need a shield of faith, a belief in Jesus that results in action, that you are going, I know I screwed up. I know I messed up. I know I got some stuff to work on, but I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to believe in my heart and believe in my spirit that his mercies are new every single day. And it doesn't, how many times I fail, it doesn't matter, because I'm getting back up with a shield of faith, believing that God is going to do what he said that he was do. How do you defeat the flaming arrows of the enemy? You defeat it by the shield of faith. The faith that believes in Jesus and then is going to do something about it. So as the band comes up, we're going to call our campus pastors up. I just want everybody, Enterprise, Ozark, Church Online, just bow your head, close your eyes, get in your own little world. I want to ask you this question. Because here's the truth, is I think there's a whole lot of people that's feeling like they've been pounded by life. So much so that they're beat down and they don't know how to get out of it. And if that's you, can I ask you this question? Do you have a shield of faith that you can fight with? Because if you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, can I tell you, no wonder you feel like you're getting beaten down. No wonder you feel that way. Because you got to pick back up your shield. You got to say yes to a relationship with him. So that's what our campus pastors are going to do. They're going to lead you through that. If you want to say yes to a relationship with Jesus today, they're going to lead you in that next step. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to them at their locations. And then for Enterprise and online, man, I want to talk to you. Because if you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, today's the day that you can do it. Today's the day. So if you're here in person, all I'm going to ask you to do is, with nobody looking around, every head bowed, every eye closed, I just want you to lift your hand. If you've never said yes to a relationship with Jesus, but you're saying yes today, he loves you right where you are. Come on, I just want you to lift it up on the count of 3. You ready? Just right where you are. 1, 2, 3. Just right there. Right here. Yeah. If that's you, or if you're watching online and you want to say yes to a relationship with Jesus, here's what I want to ask you to do. If you're watching online and you said yes to that, or if you're in-house and you said yes to that, I just want you to lift your head. I want you to look at the screens. And I just want you to text the word Jesus to the number that you're going to see on the screen. Just text the word Jesus to the number that you see on the screen. We want to know that you made that decision today. We want to help you. We got a team of people that's willing to help you through that. And I just want to lead you in a prayer right now. Nothing special about it. Just want to lead you in a prayer for you to make a decision from your heart to God's that you're saying yes to him. So right there, under your breath, you can just say, Jesus, I need you. Come into my life and forgive me. Separate my sin as far as the east is from the west. I surrender my life to you. I believe you died for me. I believe you came back to life for me to have a brand new life. I'm stepping into it today. If you're in Enterprise or online, can I tell you, if you made that prayer, if that was your declaration from your heart to God's, can I tell you today you're a brand new person. You're a brand new person. Father, we love you. God, we thank you for salvation. God, we thank you for who you are. God, show up and do something incredible in our lives. Come on, church, stand to your feet in Enterprise. Come on, stand to your feet in your living rooms. Come on, we're going to make a declaration out from our heart to the heart of God right now. Listen, you have an accuser who's coming into your life, who's trying to fill your mind with lies, and who's trying to pierce your heart with people that you aren't. You aren't what you did. You aren't who he says that you are. You are who Jesus calls you to be. You are who he says that you are. Come on, you have power. Come on, what the enemy meant for evil. We have a God who is big enough to take every evil thing that's come at your life, every flaming arrow that has been flung in your direction, and he will extinguish it, and he will turn that around for good. How many of you believe that? You believe we got a God who can take everything that he meant for evil, and God can turn it around for good. So we're going to declare this with our lips today. We're going to make this a declaration from our heart that we believe that whoever steps foot in our lives and means anything for evil, that we have a God who is worth it and who can turn everything that's evil for good. So come on, church, you believe that with me this morning? We're going to sing that out right now. So come on, at the top of your lungs, sing it out right now, everything you got.
You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Sing it out. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Come on, sing it out. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. Give Jesus a shout for turning everything to our good. Yes. You guys have a seat again and watch this next video.
What an incredible message. Thank you so much for being here this Sunday and for joining us online or in person. If you're here with us in person, we want to remind you to stay seated and follow all of the rules and guidelines to help us meet the CDC guidelines. If you're online, we want to connect with you. We want you to join our online community. So be sure to click the word connection card above and fill it out and let us connect with you throughout the week. We love you guys and we hope you have a fantastic Father's Day.